fight fans? So we had a recent fight announcement, which I did a video about. It's Chito Vera versus Corey Sandhagen. Please go check that video out. And then we had a fight fall out, and that is Paulo Costa versus Robert Whitaker. It's unfortunate, guys. I was actually really looking forward to that. That was actually going to be February 12th, I believe, or 11th, one of that time frame. It was going to be on that Perth card in Australia. And it's unfortunate that these fight never came to terms. And according to what I've been recently reading and looking up, that it was all due to the fact that Paulo Costa just was not coming to terms with the contract. I believe he's having a lot of contract dispute with the UFC. Like, he wants a bigger pay. He wants a bigger pay cut. And I even recently looked at an interview that he did with Ariel Helwani where he was talking about this pay, where he was talking about like, hey, you know what? I need more money. I've been making the same money ever since, he joined the UFC, if I'm correct. I believe it's been like 6 or 7 fights. Where I believe it was like a 70-70 contract. 70 to win, 70 to show up. Or 70 to show up and 70 to win. Yes, exactly. So he's been in talks about how he wants to make more money and how he deserves to make more money. Well, I'm right there with him. I believe all fighters should definitely be making more money. Especially they shouldn't be signing contracts to a certain degree where they're getting multiple fights and then, they win good fights or they become champion, but they make the exact same money that they signed a contract to. I mean, I don't know the contracts. I wish I did. I wish I knew more details on it, but I just get the information from what I hear. But if that's the way it is, I really hope that does change because I've mentioned in previous videos that fighters definitely do need to get paid more. So yeah, it still sucks because we don't get this fight, and this was definitely a very exciting fight. Paulo Costa is no stranger to being in exciting fights. You look at his fight with Yoel Romero and Luke Rockhold, both high quality fights. And then you look at Robert Whitaker, who's had his own quality fights against Yoel Romero himself, and then of course guys like his unfortunate losses to Israel Adesanya, which a lot of people feel like he may have won that second fight. But still, this was going to definitely be that number one contender fight. We don't know what's going to happen now. Like, that's my next question. What's going to be next for Robert Whitaker? Are they going to reschedule this fight? Or are they going to look for somebody else? Because we already know in the middleweight division, the title is being held up. The title is actually going up for grabs for part, 4? With Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira. So there's that still. But as far as everything else goes, I just don't know. I think there have even been talks about maybe moving this fight into a later date, possibly in March or April. And I remember hearing Robert Whitaker how disappointed he was, because he's been training, he's been putting in the money in the camp, and that's what sucks. And that's why I feel like the fighters need to put in more because, they put their money in these camps, and then when the fight falls out, it's not like they get that money back. It's like you're paying for all these people, you're paying for all these training partners, you're paying for everybody to, to prepare yourself. You're paying for that, and then, when the fight doesn't come into fruition, you are unfortunately, that's it. You're stuck with the bill. So, I do hope this fight does come around. We don't know when this Israel Adesanya and Alex Pereira fight's going to happen. There's been no talks of that on when. We just know that more likely it is. We know for a fact that more likely it's going to happen. But but yeah, I hope this one does because Robert Whitaker definitely deserves it. Paulo Costa, I hope he does figure things out. I do believe this was his final fight in his contract. So I know they were talking about him resigning for a higher deal, but I guess he's just trying to look for a payday for this fight, possibly go out and do other things. I know in the Ariel Helwani show, he was talking about boxing. He was talking about doing different things within the fighting world. So I'm not sure. I feel like Robert Whitaker should possibly start looking for a different opponent. No disrespect to Paulo, but it just doesn't feel like Paulo is too determined to re-sign with the UFC for multiple fights and a certain type of pay that he's just not really accustomed to or really liking at this moment. So that's just my personal opinion. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know if you think this fight is actually going to take place. Let me know if it doesn't, who Robert Whitaker should face or who Paulo Costa should face, especially for this final fight in his deal. Let me know in the comments, guys. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button, guys. Guys, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Please have a fun and safe one. Peace out, guys.